All right, you asked me for the 3 matchups that I want to see in the playoffs. I don't know if you have answers as well.
Well, I mean, obviously, if I was picking 3 Super Bowl matchups,
Vikings.
it'd be Vikings, Bills would be number 1. Vikings, Ravens, Vikings, Chiefs.
Yeah.
Some order.
You wouldn't want to see like the worst team from the AFC, so you'd have a better chance to win.
Vikings,
like, why wouldn't you say like Vikings, Chargers, or Vikings,
in part
Steelers?
because I'm not going to let my brain assume that there's any way that the Broncos are getting to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Or Stibbs.
Wow, jeez.
I mean, if
Stibbs.
they do, but we just got done saying that there's 3 teams that are coming out of the AFC, so it'd be sort of like
you'd get proven wrong, and Stibbs would be happy.
Now, if we eliminated the Vikings from it, it'd be a lot harder for me to choose Super Bowl matchups because I don't want any of the other NFC teams to have success ever, famously.
Yeah.
It'd probably just end up being the Bucs or the Commanders representing the NFC. I'm good with those teams. You really hate the Bucs. Like every time I say Bucs,
it's the Commanders. I don't want them to make the Super Bowl.
It'd be kind of cool if Jaden Daniels was in there.
They wear the cool black uniforms.
No, they're not cool. And I'm definitely not as Bucs enamored as you are. You
big fan of the Bucs.
I know you. Oh, that was the thing that I teased earlier, by the way. Baker Mayfield, not a Pro Bowler. Your thoughts before I give you my matchups?
Absurd.
It really
the
is
guy's playing
ridiculous.
it. You could make the case that he's the best quarterback in the NFC playoffs just as like playing the position right now.
Does the Pro Bowl matter anymore?
No, but I mean, he probably gets a bonus out of it.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty pissed if I was him. I like bonuses.
I would be.
I love
I'd wonder
bonuses.
what sort of happened for me to not make
Yeah.
the. Like he's playing fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's doing it where he didn't have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin for a stretch there, and he's throwing to whoever McMillan is and Trey Palmer and Kate Otten and whatever else. So
I got 2 Super Bowl matchups and a non-Super Bowl matchup for you that I'd want to see.
lay it on me.
All right. Bills.
Don't worry about my feelings.
No.
Here. Okay.
I mean,
good.
the answer, one of them involves your Vikings. Bills Vikings is
I
my
think
number
that
one.
would be a popular from a tortured 0-4, someone gets to win standpoint.
And along those same lines, Bills Lions is the other one. Georgia just went 3 and out real quick, by the way. So where we guarantee a new team winning a Super Bowl. In the case of one matchup, it is 2 teams, like you said, that are both 0-4. So they have made it 8 times and never won. The other one has never made it there, has only made 2 NFC championship games right before this season in a theoretical run in the Lions. And then the Bills on the other side. The other, I'll just go with, Bills Chiefs for another AFC championship, I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like I always liked the Colts Patriots one. Like I was kind of bummed that we didn't get more of them. Like the year that the Patriots were undefeated, the Colts inexplicably lost to the Chargers at home. And thus we didn't get that matchup for another AFC championship game, which I really wanted that year. So, if the Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs and winning, like might as well get Bills Chiefs again. Chiefs Ravens would be fun too, but I'd rather see Bills Chiefs.
Yeah,
because I think that I think the Bills would win.
I think all of those, obviously not the Lions Bills.
Yeah,
Lions would be team number 13 that I would be excited for to see win a Super Bowl. Team number 14 should be obvious to anyone ever. Team 12 is the Chiefs, so then everything after that.
Isn't that crazy that the Lions have very quickly become that team? Have you surprised yourself at all with like how much you despise them?
When the Bears, the laughing stock of America, the Bears, like when they made the Super Bowl in 2006, I didn't feel good about it.
Sure,
I wasn't
sure. But it's not that you're not going to feel good about it. You like despise them. And like, that's the thing that is like kind of surprising to me, where it's like, you have very quickly have gone just like, I hate you and everything you represent.
Well, you can toss in the fact that the whole like, oh, you got to feel good for them, which was such a preposterously stupid thing that would only be said by morons that don't understand what it's like to root for a sports team that doesn't win. And then secondly, they embody a lot of like the 2009 Saints to me. They're a dirty team. They love hitting people in the knees.
They do.
Absolutely love hitting people in the knees. I find Dan Campbell obnoxious. And
you hate Dan.
It fascinates me that like I think his post-game speeches are great. Like I could totally understand why he's a player.
Great culture builder.
I get that. Everything else about it is the way that the dorks like threw themselves into the fire
because he does stuff
for Dan Campbell last year when he did dumb stuff in the NFC Championship game.
But it works. Like that's their ethos.
Did it work? Because they didn't win the game. They didn't score points.
Would they have gotten there if they wouldn't have done it throughout? Like that's the thing that you can't build your whole brand, or your brand sounds fake. You can't build who you are as a franchise and then get to a moment and say, no, not this moment. If that's what you always do, you have to do it.
I think you have to play the individual game out, and you have to realize that you're trying to make it a 3-score game instead of leaving it as a 2-score game.
Yeah.
Like to me, that was the difference there. The difference isn't you're not aggro and you're not super aggressive and you're not the, I mean, I say what I was about to, whatever it is. You're trying to make it, it's math in the other way.
Yeah.
It's a 3-score game.
Yeah.
3 scores means they have to score 3 times to tie it. 2 scores only is 2 possessions. Jeez. Look at the way that people just like had to shield Dan Campbell from criticism that to me was very fair of how he coached that championship game. Now, there was a lot that happened in there that was unfortunate. There was drops, there was turnovers.
Ball bounced off a helmet.
That's football. I mean, that's
sure.
just like what happens.
Yeah.
What he could control was giving the Lions a chance to lead by an extra possession, which is huge and critical in football.
It is.
There's a big difference between, it doesn't make sense to kick a field goal if you have 17 points to go to 20 points. It's still 3 possessions.
Yeah.
That's dumb. Don't do that.
What was the scenario? I don't even remember anymore.
They were up 14 and they could have
it,
kicked like a 48-yard or a 50-yard field goal, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it's outside. Their kicker might miss. Okay, well, you didn't get the first down
either. Is that your
either,
Ben Solak voice?
I don't know. The voices, I don't even choose to do them. They just happen.
They just happen.
It's not even like a conscious, like, I'm going to sound like this.
I did like it because you have that character and then you have the
dumb message board guy.
Yeah, dumb message board guy.
Yeah, I basically just hate everyone. So no one should like me. We should put that out there right now.
You're a friend of mine. I'm a fan of your work.
Yeah, like there's a lot that I haven't particularly enjoyed about the whole Lions experience.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they were in a vacuum.
Nowhere, like how I feel about the Lions
I know.
is not even close. And here's the other thing. I definitely hate the Bears way more than the Lions.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
In large part with the Bears, there's a lot of Bears fans around here. There's a lot of Bears fans in the sports media.
Sure.
There's a lot of media members who get really excited if the Bears show even the smallest amount of
people love
potential.
Big markets being good.
And it just becomes this like they're a terrible hang almost all the time.
They suck.
The offense is never fun to watch. They have ruined countless players throughout draft history. They're a joke of like their owner is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Like they are a cheap, terrible franchise.
Yeah.
Their field basically looks like the Pinstripe Bowl, except they're literally a football field. I could go on, but
so if they won at this level, like the Lions, but did it in the exact same way, like, oh man, I wonder what version of you we would have.
If the Lions did it like the Bears?
If the Bears won, but if the Lions thing was just happening with Chicago right now, with the dorks loving them and with a coach like that and with being dirty.
It'd be up close, way closer to the Packers than the Lions.
And so I can't even fathom then what it would mean if the
because
Packers
I have an
were winning that way.
appreciation for a lot of things with the Lions, like the way that they play design, like a lot of their
Ben
offensive
Johnson's
calls.
awesome. Yeah.
I appreciate that they're a tough team. I appreciate that they go for it on 4th down. Like that's not, the end of the world to me. It's all the extra stuff.
So if you could just
watch
them
in
in a vacuum
dirty part of it,
you hate
that drives me nuts.
Yeah. And so if the Lions,
if the Saints were in the playoffs, they could be 13 over.
I love how much you hate the Saints. Yeah.
Oh, I hate them.
If there was
love Michael Severe, hate the Saints.
It's like when I talk about how much I hate the Steelers, and you're always like flabbergasted by it. But
yeah, because it's cross division or cross conference.
Yeah, but they've also I've never watched them play in a Super Bowl.